What up, YouTube? Facebook too. I'm on a couple of platforms right now. This is Naj with Built by Plants. So I want to set the stage right from the jump. This is a long overdue conversation and going to turn into a reaction actually of my beginner journey when I was transitioning to a plant-based diet my first year, probably actually my first 2 years. And this was actually requested quite a few times by a couple of the Pocket Coach members, a couple of coaching clients. And I want to have a discussion. Let me put up the message actually. So this was by one of the Pocket Coach clients. I don't know if he wanted me to actually reveal his name, so I just went ahead and just cut it out. But so I checked up on him. He said, "Hey, I've been doing okay. Quick question. A while back, you mentioned how you had a period of time when you focused on you and your fitness, and you cut pretty much anything and anyone outside of that. Basically, cut them off. I wanted to know if you have time to do a video to talk about that, the routine you followed, and the tips, right?" And then there was another. Also, if I can make a suggestion, I think you should do a course breaking down the 6 month plan you did, where you just focused on yourself and cutting, well, your fitness cutting everything else out. So I was thinking about this, and a while back I did. This was years ago, but I did a podcast with Brown Vegan, and I was talking a little bit about how I started transitioning. But that was actually early on. That was only like after a year or two when I was vegan. So this is 6 years later, right? So in retrospect. Now, the reason why I was so inspired to do this today specifically was because I was working on a commercial. You all know that I have commercials for, the supplements, different tools and the different tools and products that we have. And I was working on one for the Built by Plants Pocket Coach, right? And I was looking for some older content from my first days when I was transitioning to a plant-based diet. Like how I looked, my body, my physique, so I can show y'all how I actually started, like what I look like and all those things, right? How I was cooking. And for whatever reason in my mind, I just thought, why don't I pull up Snapchat and just see if I have any content inside of there? Forgetting that this was back in 2017, and this is when Snapchat was still like, I guess, active. I guess people still use it today. I don't know. But this is when I was active on Snapchat, right? From 2016 to 2015, 2016, 2017. And I found every single video from the day that I announced that I was going to do a 2 week vegan challenge, right? The first day, July 14th, 2017, the original video where I announced I was going to do this, and documented for over the next year. And I forgot all about this. Specifically because I deleted the app and I didn't even think that content was still there. Stuff expire on what's it called, Snapchat for like a year. Well, it stays there for like 24 hours or whatever, and it's deleted, so I forgot about it. But I documented every single, basically every day, like every other day. So I have all the content, my workouts. I got what I was eating, my meals. So I'm gonna show y'all all of this. I'm about to show y'all basically everything of how I got started, how I was transitioning, all of that good stuff, right? So this is basically going to be a little bit of me just giving you all some insight, some inspiration, right? Because you may be in a position in life right now where you're struggling with your body goals. You may have had some success, maybe you regressed, maybe you fell off, maybe you just getting started, you don't know what to do, how to get started. You're just trying to find something to grasp on, right? Or maybe you're in a good space and you want to evolve and move past where you are, but you're just stuck, you're stagnant, right? We all go through these different phases. So hopefully this can shed some light and just some insight on my journey so y'all can know me more, right? And see how my story can relate to you all and how you can grab little tips or little tricks and whatever it may be that can help you on your journey, right? So I'm really excited I found this. This is really cool because I talk about it all the time, but to actually see the footage, I didn't even go through all the videos, but to see the footage, I'm talking about I went through a few and I saw the very first day that I bought a food scale, and I was showing it on Snapchat. So this is gonna be really cool. So I want this to also be interactive. If y'all have questions, if y'all are watching a video with me and you see things that you want to ask questions about or stop for a minute, whatever, feel free to ask. All right, I'm streaming through Facebook and YouTube, but I think it'd be a good place to start here, right? So let me go back even before 2017 when I went vegan that summer, the year before, right? From like age 19 to 26. I think I only spoke on this like one time publicly, right? On that Brown Vegan podcast, but age 19 to 26, I was in a basically like a 6 year relationship, 6.5 year relationship, right? And that ended like early 2016. And that was a serious situation for me because this was a new space. Me being an adult at 26 years old, this is 2016. Me being an adult for the first time being single, right? This was something new that I had to basically learn how to be again, which is a very strange because I'm from like 19 years old to, mid 20s. You're used to something and then it's just gone, right? So for a period of time afterwards, after it was over, a couple of months, whatever, like I was in a very bad headspace, just like depressed, not really knowing what to do because, when you're with people, you build up habits, you build up routines and just different things that you all do together, right? And I felt like it was a very hard, strange place for me to be. And after a while, I just learned to embrace that. I learned to embrace where I was because it was a reality and it's where I had to be. So I took on that challenge of realizing that I'm in a position where I can recreate my world to be exactly what I want it to be. I can recreate myself, I can recreate my mindset, I can recreate my body, I can fix things, right? And the beauty about feeling like you're at the bottom, feeling like you're starting from scratch, is that you get to recreate it through the eye of your own image. You get to recreate it exactly how you want your life to be, right? To some extent, there are outside influences, but you do have some direct, um, you know, dictation as far as like what your life will look like, how your physique will look, what foods you eat, what you drink, how you spend your outside time, your downtime, all these different things that can build up habits that belong to me, right? And I went on that path. Now, during this period of time, 2016, 2015, and 2016, up until 2017, I co-owned a gym outside of Chicago in Lombard, Illinois, with my then business partner, Bobby K is what I call him. Bobby K was a strong dude. He's a really, really strong dude. He was a fitness trainer, right? And I was doing the marketing side of it. I wasn't an actual fitness trainer at the time. I was more so helping bringing in the clients and things like that, right? And so I focused on that during 2016. I focused on spending a lot of time training, working out, trying to learn because I still didn't know what I was doing. So fast forward from 2016 to 2017, around April 2017, we closed down the gym. The gym was called Mogul Fitness. I don't know why I came up with the name Mogul and I love that name so much, but I think it was just because of everything that it stood for, that word. Um, and we closed down the gym, right? It was just very expensive. It was capital intensive. It was a lot of money. We were like 26, 25, 26 and such, paying like 5 grand a month. Right off of Roosevelt, huge storefront. Now I think it's actually called, the place is like a wedding gown place, whatever. But if you ever on Roosevelt and Lombard, Illinois, just know that gym, that storefront, 8,000 square foot across from Firestone is where we used to have our gym. I'll show some pictures of it. When we closed down the doors, this is when I really hit depression. This was when I was like, because it's all I knew. It's what I channeled my energy into, especially after that, breakup, right? And I put so much effort into the gym. I spent so much money, so much time, like so many different things was going into that gym. So imagine losing that, right? The gym was like my baby essentially, right? And it was Bobby K's as well, but uh, um, primarily his. But like for me, knowing the effort that I put into it and everything I had, it was like all I had. So imagine somebody taking something from you directly. And this is what I was going through at the time. So I was just looking for something new, right? Looking for something to grasp on. And when I went through that phase of trying to figure out what was the next step for me, I also tried to clean up some of my eating habits, right? Because I stopped eating pork when I was like 11 years old. We were out south on the south side of Chicago. My grandma had us. My grandma used to always make us cook. She used to teach me how to cook when I was a youngin, right? So I was like 11. She had us in the kitchen making like eggs and bacon and stuff like that. So she told me to take some like pork chops or something down to the garbage or whatever, and I was taking it. It was a tray of like pork. And when I seen what I saw going through those pork chops, I was like, I'm never touching this again. That was at 11 years old, right? And I hope y'all got time because this whole live is a slow burn, right? This whole live is going to be live that I refer people to when they want to know me, when they want to get to know my past, what I've been through, how I went vegan. This is going to be the one, all right? So if you ain't got the time, catch the replay, right? Or just watch what you can and then find the rest on the replay. So uh, that's what happened. I was like 11 years old, right? Then I stopped drinking cow milk when I was like 18 because during the summer I used to come down here like a couple of times in my teens, like maybe 3 times or something like that. I used to come down here to Dallas to visit my dad when I was a kid, and I was like 16 at one point. I was like 14, 16, and then a few other times. And my dad was vegetarian, right? He was on and off vegetarian. I didn't know what it meant at the time. I was a kid. I just knew that he didn't drink cow milk, right? He drank like rice milk and I think soy milk and a few others. And when I saw him doing that, a lot of us as kids, we admire our dads. We want to be like our dads. I was like, okay, my dad ain't drinking cow milk. I'm not drinking cow milk either. So I stopped drinking cow milk. Uh, Fast forward a little bit. After having the gym, I started making better decisions. So I stopped eating turkey. I stopped eating just a lot of other things. I was rarely eating beef. So what I decided to do was just try to clean up and only eat fish and chicken. So right after the gym closed, one day I just randomly went up to Whole Foods because I used to go to Whole Foods every single day. When we had the gym, I used to go to Whole Foods and buy black and white fish. That was my thing. I used to love fish. And I was going to Whole Foods specifically to buy some black and white fish. And that's blackened white, not black and white, blackened white fish, right? I went in there to buy some black and white fish. And there was a lady, I don't know what you technically call them, but the people that give you the samples. At the end caps, they have like different samples of products, of food and stuff. So this lady, I would walk by and she was like, hey, want to try some vegan chicken? These vegan chicken breasts we got. I'm like, vegan chicken? I'm like, oh, okay. So I took a bite of it, tried it out, chewed it. And I'm like, that's actually pretty decent. What do you say this is again? She's like, vegan chicken. We have some over here in the frozen section. So she showed me where to grab it. I picked it up. I took the box home and I made some chicken burgers. Kind of like how the whole Popeyes and Chick-fil-A, whatever, how they went crazy for those chicken sandwiches. I made one of those little joints and I ate it. I ate it so fast and it was so good. And I didn't remember the brand until I went into Snapchat and I found the actual photo. The brand was Corn, right? Now, Corn and Morningstar, they be a little suspect. They don't really be 100% vegan. They be vegetarian. But I think this one was vegan because it said vegan on the pack and she said it was vegan. So that's what I did. And from that day was when I declared that I'm going to do a 2-week vegan challenge. Now, keep in mind, like I said, I got the receipts for everything. I'm about to pull up my Snapchat and we're going to scroll through my archives together and we're going to take a look at my first year of being vegan. What I was eating, what I was learning, how I learned about training and working out and all these different type of things, right? It's my first year. And the level of focus that I had after I started getting going, it became so much more easier, but not just easy. It was like that level of love that I had for my gym, right, in Chicago, well, Lombard, the level of love that I had for my gym, that was now transferred. That energy went from the gym to me and my plant-based diet journey, me and my rebuilding my body journey. All of that energy that I had towards that, this was like my new focus, right? And I don't know why, but like every single day was like what I look forward to. I look forward to trying stuff out. I look forward to trying to make meals for the first time and cook and all these different things. When I show y'all some of these meals I was making, you're gonna be like, what the hell? But in my mind, it was the coolest shit ever. Like in my mind, I thought I was doing something. So I'm gonna show y'all. I'm gonna pull up my screen. Let me see here. Wait, that ain't it. Show. All right, there we go. Okay, check it out. So, right here, this gym that you see, this was the Mogul Fitness Training Center. And y'all can see the dates at the very top. If you look at the very top, you'll see the dates for everything. All right, so y'all see that says. Actually, I wonder if I can mute the sound a little bit. Let me see if I can mute or at least turn down the sound. Let me see. How can I? Okay, let's see. So this was what is it? January 13th, 2017. So I was doing like a workout where you gotta drop the weights off the sides and stuff like that. This was my gym. Me and Bobby K. This was our gym. I used to love the gym. I spent all my time there. Days, nights, everything. Here's another one.
Maybe like this.
January 18th, 2017. Right, we used to do a lot of drop sets, a lot of cool stuff. All right, so y'all get the picture, right? Here's some others, right fast. Me with no type of coordination, had no idea what I was doing. And this was our gym. This was our gym. I was so proud of that gym. So I'm going to fast forward and I'm going to get to the part. And this was when I first started losing weight. All right. Now here's the thing. Here's the interesting thing. When I did this, I had no idea what I was doing. I was just so motivated to try to make some progress. This was before going vegan. That's when I still at the gym. I had so much motivation to like lose some weight and to like try to like improve myself. I didn't know how I was losing weight. I just knew however I was eating it was helping. Right. I didn't start learning about how to actually do it on purpose and how to lose weight, specifically strategically until later on. So I'm going to show some more. I'm going to scroll down. Matter of fact, we're going to fast forward to that first day. Like I said, let me not get distracted because I can check out stuff all day long. All right, let me get to. And this is before I went vegan. This was like just some foods I was having. Let me get to that day. One more preference. These videos that you're about to see are so cringe. I almost decided not to show. Like the way that I looked, I was like, who is this? Who is this young man? This is an ugly little fella. But I can laugh about it now. Like everything. I self-improvement is a mother, man. All right, so check it out. I hope that y'all can actually hear this. But let's go. I was at Whole Foods 2 days ago, walking down the aisle. Check the date at the very top up there. Let me see if I can go around. Check the date up here. You're going to see it says July 14th, 2017. I was at Whole Foods 2 days ago, walking down the aisle, and a lady was advertising vegan chicken. One more thing. You can see that I always loved uh, polo robes. I've always loved the Ralph Lauren robes. I was a huge Ralph Lauren fan. Let me restart it for y'all. I was at Whole Foods 2 days ago, walking down the aisle, and a lady was advertising vegan chicken patties. There they go. Those are the spicy ones. She asked me to try it, and I did. And they were actually pretty good. They actually tasted like chicken. I was a horrible looking fella. So I was just looking at the box right now, and I just decided, why not do a 2-week vegan challenge? 2-week vegan challenge. This was 6 years ago. Almost. It'll be 6 years in this July. I got to thinking about it, and I'm like, I only eat fish anyways. I eat beef like 4 times a year. I haven't touched pork since I was 11. The receipts. This was 6 years ago. And then I only drink coconut milk and almond milk. Only thing I would struggle with is eggs. So eggs would be tough because I eat them like every day. So you can see the levels of cringe, right? So that's what I did. And that was the start of my journey. That was the start of it. Now, if I scroll through, y'all can see some more pictures. I'm gonna show y'all what some of my meals was looking like. This is what I call meal prep. This was 3 days into my vegan journey. This was my meal prep. Pizza, spinach. I had no idea what I was doing, right? And the reason I'm showing you all this is because I want you to know that where you start isn't going to be where you finish, right? The biggest difference between winners and losers is who don't stop, who stays the path, right? Because the way that this food was tasting, I'll be honest, it wasn't like it was the best, but I was just determined, right? And I didn't let that deter me from continuing my path. I knew this is something that I wanted. So then I went down to Dallas, and like I said, y'all know I've always loved margaritas, right? I don't know why I always say I love you whenever I post margaritas, but it was like this little Snapchat thing I used to do. And this was like a weekend to my vegan journey, right? You can see I'm in Dallas, 2017. Now I'm gonna scroll down. Now this was when I started like trying to learn how to work out. I still didn't know. Even those videos that I showed y'all when I had the gym, I didn't know what I was doing. I knew how to get a good workout in, like how to push myself and feel tired. I knew I do a pull up at one point because it took me like a long time to like practice, but I didn't know how to train, right? I didn't know like good technique or good form. So let's take a look at this one. And this is me learning. This is me trying to get there, right? So I'm going to keep fast forwarding, keep going. And what you're going to know and realize is that I look leaner right there, but I actually started gaining a lot of weight, right? A few months into my vegan journey, I started putting on some weight because like I said, I didn't know what I was doing. I thought I knew how to eat. I thought I knew how to, lose weight, but it was happenstance. It was literally just because I was trying to eat better, right? But there's a big difference between eating for health and eating for body composition. If you are a client of ours or if you are a Pocket Coach member, you know that I talk about that all the time. You can eat for health, which is great, but you can still be overweight if you're healthy, right? You can still be healthy while you're overweight to some extent because weight is just specifically the side effect of eating too many calories. So you could eat a lot of good calories, right? You could be eating nuts and seeds and peanut butter and avocados and all these different type of things that can make you gain a lot of weight if you snack on it too much and you overconsume your calories, right? So I didn't know what I was doing. Plus, I wasn't just indulging in 100% like clean way of eating. I started learning, and that's what it was. I started learning about that vegan junk food. I started learning about the ice creams and like the different type of cheeses and the vegan candies and things like that, because that was my struggle. I loved candy. I loved cookies. I loved ice cream. And this stuff was like ridiculous as far as how it caused me to gain weight because I couldn't control myself around certain things. So this was my journey of just learning about food specifically, right? So let me show you a little bit of these. I don't even know if that was me. Uh, and this is when I thought, see, this is why the vegan journey is such a challenge and a learning phase. I thought that this was plant based. This is how it looks on the inside. Got a 8 ounce cup of almond milk. I didn't have any guidance. This was whey. Again, so supplementing my protein. I thought that was good protein. This was whey, which is from milk product, right? So I'm gonna keep going down. I'm trying to try to speed up a little bit so y'all can see some of my progress. But let's start here first. Look at this. This is horrible. This was literally horrible. I had no idea. I was just pushing. And that's August 15th, 2017. All right. So we're going to keep scrolling up, keep scrolling, and we're going to try to speed up a little bit so we can get to a place where you can see a little bit more progress. Let's see. Months later, I started learning a little bit. I started realizing what better form was. I started realizing that I can actually control the weight and I don't have to just throw it around. And this will help me start learning. And this is like the first vegan protein powder that I found. And it was the worst thing ever. This was the Garden of Life. It had really good ingredients, but the taste of it, trash. Meal shake and meal replacement. It's a little bit different than the one I usually grab, but 20 grams of protein, organic meal. Right. And that was pretty cool. It was cool for the time, for the moment. You know, that was before the world had BBP subs back there, before they had that vanilla ice cream and that chocolate frosty protein powder. So let's take a look at some of these. Let's show y'all how cringe I was. Smoke meal time. But this is what we call bro meal time. Meaning when you make a quick meal because you don't feel like cooking, because you just tapped all. Y'all can see I use the word bro meal, right? That's where vegan bro meals came from 6 years ago. And this is when I really started learning, right? I started getting better and better. Now let me pause for a minute. Because I want to talk about this. Now, this was July, August, September, October. So about 3 months into my vegan journey. 3 months in, and this is where you have the most excitement, right? That first 3 months or so, because you're learning, if you're doing it the right way. You're learning, you're experimenting, you're in a grocery store, you're buying different things, you're trying stuff out, and you're just trying to get a feel for what it is that you like. Like, can you see yourself sustaining this type of diet? And more so, not just that, but really focusing in and making a real effort to sustain it. And I was learning and learning and learning. I was literally like a sponge at this point. And the thankful thing is I knew in my mind that I didn't know what I was doing. I had an open mind, right? I knew I was messing up. I knew my food didn't look good. I knew it didn't really taste good, but I didn't stop, right? When I let other people try it, they would talk about how trash it was, and which was cool, but I didn't let it stop me or deter me. I was even more determined to try to get it right and to try to figure it out. And when I got to this point right here, and I started learning about protein, because I didn't know nothing about macros. At the start of my vegan journey, I didn't know nothing about calories. I didn't know nothing up until you see me grab that protein powder. That was the first time that I actually took a look at anything on the back of a nutrition label. I didn't know nothing about that. And I started just like learning. I started studying. Then I started taking nutrition courses. Once I started taking the courses and like learning from other people online, this is what really helped elevate me to another level, because I realized that it's a science behind it. Like, this isn't just eat vegan food and then you're going to lose weight or anything like that. Like I said, as y'all going to see, I started gaining weight when I went vegan, right? A few months in, I started picking up weight. And that's what really like made me realize, like, okay, I thought I knew what I was doing. I clearly don't. I need to get some knowledge as opposed to just experimenting. You want to experiment for a little while, but at some point you want to try to gain some insight and see what are those specifics behind just the food that causes me to gain weight or to lose weight or to rebuild my body. And I started learning. I was like, okay, well, people always talking about protein. Why people keep talking about protein on a vegan diet and you can't get it in, or it's hard to get? And I heard this, and this was, like I said, the reason I went vegan was because I wasn't influenced. I wasn't like on Instagram and saw somebody that was making some transformations or anything. Like none of that was like apparent. I didn't even know that there was a whole vegan world, right? All I knew was that some lady offered me some vegan chicken. It tastes pretty good, and I heard that vegan was a little bit healthier. So I just transitioned and I just tried it out. But I didn't realize that there was a whole world on top of that. So one of the things that I started doing was learning the specifics. I started learning what are the requirements that I need. What are those little individual things that I can put into place that can help me reach my actual body goals? And that's when I learned about calories, macros, tracking my calories, weighing out my foods, logging my foods. I learned about my fitness pal, all these different type of things. And I was like, this is the secret. And I heard about macros, but I never knew what it meant. Like even when we had to gym, I was like, what is a macro? And what is the purpose of that? Right? What is a microphone? Like I didn't know none of those specifics. And once I started taking that more serious, I realized, oh, okay, so this isn't about being vegan or being not vegan. This isn't about when I for body composition. This isn't about like you needing animal based protein to build muscle. This is about you need to hit these requirements. You need to hit these numbers, these scientific pieces. This is what really matters. This is the foundation. And once I did that, I was like, okay, cool. But then I started hearing people talk about you can't build muscle on a plant-based diet. That was getting thrown around so much and so much. And I took it personally. I was like, well, I like being vegan. I think this is pretty dope. I think it's pretty cool. And from that point, I made it a goal to show that you can actually build muscle on a plant-based diet, right? I didn't know if it was possible. Like I said, I didn't know anything about influencers and like, vegan coaches and things like that. All I knew was that I like this diet. It's making me feel good. I think it's cool. I'm interested in it, and I'm gonna try to build some muscle on it. And that's what I did. So that's why I'm showing you all the journey so y'all can see where I came from and how everything looked. And if y'all like this video, please give it a like up there. I think somebody just did. I appreciate it greatly. That's going to help this video get pushed out to more people so they can find this content, because hopefully this resonates with you all and hopefully somebody else can resonate with it. So tap that like for me, and that's really going to help, right? And hit that subscribe if you're not subscribed already. Now, what I'm going to do is try to go a little bit forward up into, let me see if I can find, right fast, scroll up. Okay, here we go. All right, 1 second. Let me get back to sharing. All right, here we go. So I'm going to fast forward. We're going to go down. This is what I was eating. And the spinach, obviously. And I had this last night too, but man, it's good. 8 grams of plant-based protein. These got 30 grams of protein. And then I thought I was the man. Once I learned about protein and I was able to say stuff like that, this got 30 grams of protein, this got that, this got that. Like, I thought I was smart. Which I guess I kind of was, but I was really excited about that. So let me show y'all the first time that I learned about a food scale. Y'all can kind of see it right here. So just got some new forks and stuff. We're whipping that peanut butter goat meal from those steel cut oats. And this is when I was learning. Just bought that brand new scale for food purposes, obviously. Just bought that brand. Y'all don't understand how nostalgic, same thing, this is for me. To see this 6 years ago, the first time I ever picked up a food scale, and the fact that I recorded all this is just crazy to me. And this is why I always say document. Like, document your journey. Even if you're not at the beginning stage anymore, just document where you are, right? Because if I didn't document all this stuff 6 years ago, I won't be able to share this content with y'all. I'll just be talking about it still, right? But this makes it real. This lets y'all know I got receipts, right? Everything that I say, everything that I teach, it's not made up. It's not coming from, me just trying to create a story and like sell something, right? Y'all can see that this is the journey, the process that I went through when I got started. And y'all can see like how I lost a little bit of weight and gained a little bit of weight. I just showed y'all my gym that I had 6 years ago, 7 years ago. Like how I started, didn't know how to train, didn't know nothing, me taking certification courses and all that stuff, me pick up a food scale for the first time, I'm showing the whole journey. So this makes it like really real. So I'm just happy about that. And I want y'all to have that same thing. So document your journey. You never know where this life is going to lead you to. I had a previous client actually, about maybe 3 years ago. She started with me. I got my tea over here. Let me drink a little bit. This is some Zen tea. This is Zen and Earl Grey. She started with me about 3 years ago, right? And she got some decent results. And this was it 3 years ago or 4? Maybe about 3 years ago. And she got some decent. When I say decent, she lost like 40 pounds or so. But she wasn't where she wanted to be. She just, I forgot exactly why she had to stop. But I don't know if it was, I think she lost her job or something, which was sad. But so 3 years later now she's helping other people lose weight. Now she's a health coach, right? And the fact that you may be the same thing. You may be that person, right, that wants to start helping other people and individuals, right? So imagine if you start documenting now, you can do the same thing. I'm not saying that you got to, help people with their body goals, but just a source of inspiration and also to help yourself. Because there's a lot of times where I would look back on my journey and I would say like, man, like in this picture, and I'm gonna show y'all some, like there's some pictures that I have where I was complaining in the moment back then that I didn't look the way I wanted to look, or that I was like fat or whatever. And once I show y'all, you're gonna be like, what the hell? What are you thinking? At least that's how I felt about it. So I'm gonna keep going. Like I said, this is around the time where I was really trying to learn and starting to learn what I did. Now, even though I learned about the food scale, that didn't stop me from making no horrible looking meals. All right, that didn't fix my cooking problems. This is what I was eating. I'm about to fold one of them, but just started with adding the brown rice first, then the black beans. I was out here sharing this to the world for everybody to see. And a scoop of the protein. Y'all see that? So this is everything. By the way, I was pretty fly, if I do say so myself. So now here we go. Check it out. My body's changing now.
You see? Without hoping ain't nothing.
Y'all see that? Y'all see those gains? Now my body's actually changing.
You see? Without hoping ain't nothing.
Alright.
Do something and stop stalling. That's silly. The ball with it just draw.
Look at that. Look at that form. Look how much improved it is. More than that other video I showed you where I'm just like quick pumping, basically. I learned how to put the motion in the ocean right there.
Visible set F class. That's chilly. Life is short. That's fast. Do something and stop stalling. That's silly. The ball with it.
Slow and controlled. And this was due to, like I said, me taking my time, me knowing that this is going to be a process, realizing that results aren't coming overnight, right? There is no such thing as a 2-week transformation, right? Barely, not even really, honestly, if we're talking like being serious, a 30-day transformation. You can make a lot of progress within 30 days. But as far as like getting from where you are, maybe that's severely obese, to where you ideally want to be, lean or a 6-pack or just like healthy or whatever it may be, it's a process. You got to go through these phases, right? Y'all see how I was starting, like I was going through phases of learning. Like when clients sign up with me and they're learning, within 2 weeks, I teach them about a food scale. Actually, I teach them from day one, but within 2 weeks, they know how to use the food scale. They know how to weigh out their calories or weigh out their foods and track their calories and things like that. Y'all just saw it took me like 4 months to buy a food scale, right? And that's just the value of coaching, because everything that I've learned, I speed up for you, right? I give you the fast track based off of everything that I went through and everything I learned and the courses that I took and the certifications and everything that I've took the time to actually learn from, right? So you don't have to spend that time wasting, spinning your wheels, so to speak, right? So just realize that it's not going to happen overnight. If you have goals, you have things that you want to accomplish, it's a journey, right? And although I was very excited during this time in my life, I was very happy and I had something to put my energy towards, during the process, in the moment, it wasn't like it was all peaches and cream and sunny rainbows, right? Like, I was still going through, the mental piece of dealing with all those L's I've been taking over the last couple of years, right? Things that I've put a lot of energy into and built up and that I was trying to overcome. But I knew in my mind where I wanted to go. I had this image of who I wanted to be, how I wanted my body to look, how I wanted my health to look. I kept that in mind. And every time I felt like quitting, every time I felt like not going to the gym or not working out, I thought about how I would feel if I woke up that morning and I didn't get those gains in. I didn't get that workout in. I thought about how I would look a year from now if I can look back and realize I skipped all those workouts for nothing, that I wasn't tracking my calories, I wasn't eating my food, or if I just stopped, right? A year from now, we're going to have to meet ourselves. Who do you want to show up? That's important. A year from today, May 9th, we're going to have to meet ourselves. And what I mean by that is, regardless if you're working out or not working out, regardless if you're eating right or not eating right, you're going to have an outcome May 9th, 2024. Is it going to be the one that you want or the one that you're going to regret? That's determined by what you do today, tomorrow, next week, next month, 6 months from now, up until that time frame. So keep that in mind when we're going through these phases, we're making these decisions on a daily basis. Skipping that workout. One workout ain't going to hurt you, right? Skipping one workout, it's not going to hurt you. It's the habit that you're building. It's the routine that you're building, right? If y'all don't know, if y'all don't have the book, I think I have it back here actually. Everybody need to pick this book up. Atomic Habits by James Clear. I think I was introduced to this book like 4 years ago, maybe about 4 years ago. But he has a great, sorry, I'm struggling. He has honestly, every line in that book is like a bar. Every line in that book is like a quotable. But he has a saying. Every action that you take is a vote for the type of person you want to become. So all of those actions, whether the actions you want or the actions that you don't want, right? Working out or not working out, eating right or not eating right, all of those are making a decision of who you're going to be tomorrow, who you're going to be next week, who's going to show up a year from now. So we can overlook the fact and say, oh, well, it's just one meal, right? Or, oh, well, it's just, one bad meal. Now, like I said, one bad meal isn't going to ruin your health, just like one good meal isn't going to ruin your health. One skipped workout isn't going to make you lose your gains. One accomplished workout isn't going to build you a whole bunch of new gains. But what we're doing consistently, all those individual votes that we do, everything that we take on a day-to-day basis, that's what's going to determine who's going to show up a year from now. And hopefully you all are picking up on these little sidebars I'm dropping off as we go through this content. Let me pull this back up. Give me one quick second, good people. So here we go. All right, so let's go through this. Let's share. Here we go. All right, so this is when I was really learning. This is when I was starting to, let me see. Let me backtrack a little bit. All right, here we go. That was November, December. I started learning about some cool stuff. I learned about pre-workout. Pre-workout, I don't know if everybody don't like pre-workout, but I love it. I have my own pre-workout, which is something I never thought I'd be able to say. In a million years, I never thought I'd be able to say I have my own supplement company, honestly. Something that's really dope. A lot of work has went into this. This is our icy lemonade flavor. But before I was able to accomplish this, 6 years ago, this was the first pre-workout that I ever bought. Check it out. I grabbed some NitroFlex pre-workout. This is pina colada flavor. They said it's new. So let me see how that tastes. I also grabbed, check it out. So those are some cool things, right? And this is just sharing some of the things I was doing throughout that process. Now, one thing that I did have, right, one thing that was going for me was my ability to deadlift. I was always strong in the deadlift. My first, I think like within my first time deadlifting ever, like my first 2 months, I pulled 405. Now, don't get me wrong, it was ugly. It was horrible. It was the worst 405 pull you ever seen in your life. And actually, if you scroll my Instagram back to like 2014, you'll be able to see it. It's still on there. I never took it off. I like to keep all my receipts, my receipts. But I got pretty good, right? And I channeled that. So that's another lesson. Like, lock in on the things that you're good at. If you don't like working out, but you know that there's one movement that you just enjoy, or if you don't necessarily like all styles of workouts, but there is a style that you like, right? Channel that. If you're trying to get to a specific goal, use that as your guiding light. Let that be what you look forward to. And I took advantage of deadlifting every time I could. So this was the new year. All right, don't get me wrong, my form was trash, but I was learning. So here we go. Check it out. So this was when I was starting to learn how to get more advanced.
This all I knew. Pop
I started learning about weighted pull-ups.
was just wildin', having fun and me.
All right, here we go.
I feel good sometimes I don't. I finesse.
Now I know those are half reps, but it's fine. So I didn't make that. Scrolling down, going up a little bit more. Let me see if I can find something that's more relevant. So here we go. I'm getting stronger. I'm actually making a little bit better meals. All right. So this was with the Gardein, like the orange chicken that they have. Right. So I guess I didn't really make it, but it is what it is. Okay. So I'm trying to find. Okay. So it was within this period of time where I started gaining. I guess that makes sense. I didn't post it. I wasn't posting it on Instagram, or should I say on Snapchat, when I was gaining a lot of weight. But it was from the end of November to the beginning of January 2018, up in this time, right? And let me see if I can fast forward. I know I have somewhere. Maybe I'll post some. I think I'll post some of it on my. Maybe we'll do a part 2 and I can look at that. That's probably what I do. I'll show you some of the actual befores. But this is when I was cutting. This is when I was learning how to lose weight. All right. If we went back up to Chicago, I was working out and that type of stuff. We was playing basketball. My jumper always been lit. All right, so let me scroll down a little bit more. Let's go past, let's fast forward. All right, my meals were still looking kind of crazy, but they were tasting better. They were getting better. And this is the new year. This is February 24th, right? I fast forward a little bit. I'm trying to find the area of where I started really changing my physique. Here we go. All right, so this is when I was cutting. So the cut was actually, as I said right there, going pretty well. I started changing the way I look completely, right? I started burning fat. And like I said, once I learned how to use that food scale, that's when I became dangerous. That's when I became the person that, is known on Instagram for, the physique or the six pack and all that stuff, right? It was during this time. Now, I wasn't that lean right there, but I started cutting more. And I was taking pictures every day. Every day. Let me scroll down some more. And I became addicted to taking more pictures. And more pictures. Right? And this is when my physique was really starting to change. Now, keep in mind, this is April 18th, 2018. Okay? Still going down. Physique update. Now, you can see I'm getting fancy right here. This was after taking my certification courses. This was out there doing all that. I'm saying stuff like physique update. I wasn't talking like that before, right? Diet break, right? Right. I'm learning about these different concepts. And this is a part of just staying in the game, right? Not quitting. As you go on more and more and more and you continue down your path, you're going to learn more, right? You're going to learn things that you never thought you would have learned, or things that you never would have known you would have needed to know, because you're just staying in the game and you're picking up on the language. You're picking up on these high level concepts that seem so weird and like so like what does it even mean? But the longer you just stay in the game, the longer you don't give up, you learn about these things just naturally, so to speak, right? And this was a part of the process because prior to this, prior to going vegan, prior to all that stuff, prior to making it a goal to show what you can do and rebuild your body on a plant-based diet, I was a quitter when it came to my physique, when it came to my body. I wanted to look better, but I didn't know how. And every time I got started, I would just stop. I would quit, right? I'll go to Wingstop. And like I said, this was before I went vegan. I'll go to Wingstop. I'll do whatever, like all the people that was around me, I would take anybody, somebody called me, hey bro, let's kick it. All right, bet. Hey, let's do this. All right, bet. Like I would listen to anybody that would say anything, right? Back in Chicago. And that was part of the reason why I came down. I actually came down to Dallas. It was only supposed to be for a weekend, right? I was visiting my little sister, my dad and such, and I was supposed to be down here for a weekend. And that weekend turned into a week. That week turned into a month. That month turned into like a year and a half, right? And like I said, it was the best year and a half of like one of the best years and a half of my life because this is where I was focused on changing myself because I realized I'm like, man, you only have so many more. Let me preface it. We have all the opportunities. As long as we got breath, we have opportunities and we have time to change whatever it is we want to change. But for me, the fact that I kept quitting on myself and I would start and I would quit and I would make some progress and I would just quit, like all those things, I learned that if I keep starting and keep quitting and then I make some more progress and I stop again, like I was depleting my ability to believe that I can do the things that I said I was going to do and I can do the things that I really wanted to do, right? I was losing that because I'm realizing that I'm just quitting every single time. And that's something that I had to get rid of. I had to say, okay, if I'm going to do this, I'm not going to give up. I don't care if I gain a bunch of weight. I don't care if I like regain and I'm messing up, whatever. Like regardless of what it takes, I'm going to continue to work out. I'm going to continue to try to do better. If I mess up one night, I'm going to get back on track the next day. And this is why I came up with all these different like strategies and philosophies of how I treat working out, going through this process myself. And honestly, that's why it hurts me so much when I see clients that will join the coaching program and they'll start making some progress, right? Within the first month, they'll lose like 7 pounds, 5 pounds, dropping body fat percentage. They'll be, weighing out their foods and then they'll just stop the second month, right? Whether it's because of finances or whether it's because of like life getting busy or they're stressed out or whatever it may be and they just stop. Or not even the whole first month. Maybe they'll stop a few weeks in. And it's like, I know what they're doing to them, right? I understand what they're going through, and which is why I try to push it hard because I want you to realize that this journey is not something that you should view as, okay, I messed up here, or I fell off right here, like I'm just going to stop altogether. Like you can't treat it that way because you're depleting your ability to believe in yourself every single time you quit, right? You may need to go a little bit slower, right? But don't give up. And I see it over and over and over and over again, right? I just received a message about someone wanting to pause coaching because life is, beating them up basically. And I'm like, you can't stop. Like I've had clients that have worked with me and they made some progress and then they think that they got it and they'll just stop for however long. And over that period of them stopping, because whether they thought that they learned what they need to know and now they got it or whatever it may be, like I've had them reach back out like 6 months later, a year later, 2 years later saying like, hey, I don't know why I stopped. I should have kept going. I was making so much good progress with you. And they'll come back and join again and have to redo all that they've, all the damage that they've done over the last year when they weren't working with us and realizing where they could have been had to just stayed the path. Right? How did it just continued on? And it's not just like one individual. I'm not singling out anybody. This is it's just it's life, shit happens. But it's like, I understand what happens when you do stop, when you do quit, when you're not working out like you used to, or you got to pause your, eating and such, because when let's just say you lose 15 pounds, you're trying to lose 75 and you stop because of whatever happens in your life and you regain that 15 pounds plus some 25 pounds and such. Now you're starting from way back here. I forgot that I'm in the camera. So now you're starting way back when you could have been, even if it was just a little bit forward. So now you got to get all that progress back that you already lost because you just stopped. Had you just say, okay, I just need to dial back now. Maybe I can't work out 3 days a week. I'll just work out 2. Maybe I can't work out 2 days a week. I'll just work out 1. Maybe I can't track all my meals. I'll just track 1 meal and I'll use those other strategies that you taught me. You can't give up. That's the biggest thing. That's why I was able to accomplish what I did, because I didn't quit. I didn't give up. I didn't let this turn into like a period of my life where I was, I never wanted myself to be a person that said I used to, right? We got a lot of those I used to. I used to look like this. I used to look like that. I used to like, I never wanted to be able to, or I never want to have that story. And I think that it's important that we don't let ourselves give up when we feel like it. Reach out to somebody, It don't have to be coaching. We have the Built by Plans Pocket Coach with our community, and we meet up every Sunday. We're hopping on calls. Oh, here go T right here. T, what's up, T? T is one of our Pocket Coach members. She won our challenge earlier this year. Y'all should know about T. She was on the channel. She's on the YouTube channel. All right. So you are correct. The more you learn, the better you get, as long as you don't give up 100%. And that's the key, right? Because if things may seem like it's not going to happen, you may not understand certain things or why things are starting to happen, or, whether that's like you regaining some weight, or, your weight is fluctuating and things like that. But the more that you learn, the more you'll pick up on it, right? Like our weight fluctuates on a day-to-day basis. It's always going to happen. Right? We're never going to reach our body goal, and we're going to stay at that goal for the rest of our life, every single day, every single minute. Like when you wake up in the morning, we're at our leanest. There's no other time throughout the day that you're going to be leaner or a lighter weight, less weight than you are when you wake up in the morning, unless you're doing intermittent fasting or some type of fasting where, you're not eating throughout the day or something like that. As you add more food to your mouth, you're going to weigh more pounds throughout the day, because food has weight, right? And by the end of the night, you're going to be heavier. So overnight, that food is still there until you empty it. So you may say, well, why am I waking up at a different weight than this day? We also drink water, or at least we're supposed to, right? So maybe you're drinking it, so our body weight fluctuates, right? And maybe that's something that you're stuck on. A lot of people give up because they say their weight fluctuates too much. Well, it's a normal thing. That's why we don't need to just focus on our weight, right? You want to be tracking your body fat percentage. You want to be tracking your measurements, right? You want to be taking pictures, taking videos, documenting all these things that I'm showing you all the stuff that I'm talking about. It's all coming together. Document, take videos. Use this as a period of your life that you're really focusing and you're locking in and you're taking it serious, right? And getting back to what one of our Pocket Coach members mentioned, and I just keep saying Pocket Coach member because I don't know if he wanted me to actually say his name since I screenshot the message. But one of the other things he wanted me to talk about was the period where I just focused specifically on me and basically cut anything and everybody else off. And I feel like everybody can't do that, right? Because as I mentioned, I was in a stage of rebuilding. I was in a stage of focusing on becoming the person that I want to become. And I was at the bottom, right? At the time, the person I was with, they left, right? The next year, my gym left. So I was rebuilding from scratch, right? Although I still had friends and family and stuff like that. And you're right, it wasn't like none of that went away or whatever. Like I still had a social life and things like that. But that was part of the problem, my social life. I kicked it too much, right? I was hanging out too much. I was, with the homies and all that stuff too much, right? Going out, all that type of stuff. I was doing it too much. And I realized while I'm trying to make this transition, what worked best for me was to not partake in those things. Because when I realized when I do partake in those things, it was a huge distraction for me. I couldn't control myself when I would be in environments where I can be influenced to eat a bunch of fast food or eat some, whatever it may be. Plus, I was transitioning to a plant-based diet, so I didn't want to be around other influences that could potentially knock me off of that because I was transitioning, right? And I didn't want to I was so locked in and making sure that I accomplished this goal. Anything else wasn't really a huge. Uh, it wasn't that important for me during that phase of my life, right? So I stopped communicating with people all the time. I stopped hanging out. I stopped doing all these different type of things, and I didn't like completely like ignore everybody. Although I kind of technically did, but it was like more like this was actually something else that one of the so Dwayne, y'all know Dwayne. He started out as a client. You know, he wanted to lose weight so he can go to Vegas for the first time for his 30th birthday with his shirt off and have a six pack and all that stuff, right? This was like the talk that I had to give him as well because he was he was real social. Like you out, what I'm talking about is nowhere near. He was kicking it all the time. He had all type of friends and all that stuff, right? You know, he's real social. And he was actually essentially had the same question as this, which was how did he do what I did, which was make that period of time where you're not focusing on other people and you're locked in on yourself. So maybe everybody can't do it the way I did. But what I encouraged him to do was to have a conversation with those people that you kick it with, that you hang out with, or family or friends, whatever, and let them know that you're going through a transition period. This is the period that you need to put all your energy and your attention to you. So kicking it, hanging out, talking on the phone all the time, like that's going on a pause, right? Because what you gotta realize is that most people are where they're gonna be in life, right? Most people aren't gonna make too many more, especially when we become adults. Most people aren't trying to like elevate a lot. And it's not to say that that's wrong or that's right or whatever. It just is what it is. Like, you know, when we become adults, we get caught in our routines, life gets stagnant, you know, we get comfortable and we may be satisfied with what we have, you know, physically, our body, our health, like it's, you know, we just are what we are. So with that in mind, by you taking this break, you know, this sabbatical from people, like they're still going to be there. They're going to be exactly where they are right now, right? And I'm not saying that you can't say hi or you can't have a quick 5 minute phone call or whatever, but like I went through a period of time where I was trying to completely rebuild and reshape my mind and become the person I always wanted to become, mentally, physically, like eating wise. Like I want to change all that stuff. So I went through this period where I just really wasn't communicating with people, and all I would do was just lock in on my goals, eating everything I was supposed to eat, right? I was, like I said, I was still experimenting, still learning. All my free time was spent towards learning and reading and watching documentaries and all these different type of things, right? Not really documentaries, like a lot of talks and stuff like that from doctors and, you know, fitness coaches and all this type of stuff. I was like a study holic. I got ridiculous amounts of notebooks back here from just notes and notes and notes of things I was studying. And that was my life. And like I said, you got to realize that those people are still going to be there. They're going to be just fine, right? They may not like it. They may be mad with you for a little bit. They may be frustrated or whatever. But after a while, people move on, right? So to speak. And when I say move on, I mean like they're not going to forget you, but they're going to move on and find something else that's going to replace that time that they was talking with you for now, right? Like think about all the things that we went through, you know, in life where all this, let's just say celebrities and stuff that was seen like a big old deal, right, on social media or whatever, like all these, you know, bad situations or crazy situations or whatever it may be, like within the next week they've forgotten about, right? We're in a whole different world, right? We have these things at the palm of our hands. Like life moves very fast. We move on very fast. We're getting trained to look at 10-second videos, right? And if you're watching this video and you're still watching, like you're a special person. Like you have the ability to focus and to lock in, right? So that's a skill set. Most people can't do that. Most people can't still sit here and watch this video. Their attention span isn't long enough, right? If you're not getting to the point, they want to know, like, what are you trying to say? They want to rush things in such a rush all the time. It's challenging at this point to like listen and actually like consume information at a pace where you're not looking for a dopamine rush. That's a very challenging thing. So I was learning all this stuff and I was trying to like really transition myself. And the other thing, I was reading so much. I was reading book after book after book. I was on Amazon buying everything that I can about self-improvement. That was a huge part of it. Not the other thing. That was a huge part of it. And that played a huge role into the person I was becoming. There's a lot of books that I could recommend. I would probably create a tab or something like that and put them down there. But there was a lot of books that I was reading that were like really helping shape my mind into like taking it serious about who I was trying to become, who I was becoming. And one thing that I realized was that, okay, well, people may feel a certain way, but they're going to still be there. And guess what? They all there. Everybody I talked to back then, like I still talk to now, they don't feel no certain type of way. A lot of them didn't even realize it, right? They forgot because, like I said, something else replaced that time that we'd be talking or we'd be hanging out. So you can't focus on that because guess what? There's only one or two things gonna happen. That person that you're trying that you worried about having a conversation with, of locking in and getting serious about your goals, one of the two things gonna happen. They're either gonna resent you or you're gonna resent them, right? Maybe not even resent, but they are gonna be upset with you or you're gonna be upset with them. Imagine if you're making a decision on whether you're gonna make progress to the person that you want to be, and you're saying that the reason that you can't do that is because this person wants to still participate in things that y'all participate in together. Maybe that's going out and eating a whole bunch of fast food, or maybe that's going out and whatever y'all doing, right? And let's just say you fall into that. Maybe you saying, okay, forget it. You know what? I'll focus on this fitness stuff later. I'll focus on rebuilding my body later. You fall into that. Like I said, a year from now, you're gonna have to show up for yourself. And imagine taking that path of following into what they want you to do. Now you upset with them because you listen to them, right? About your body goals. You didn't do what you need to do for your body because of like kicking it or eating out, or whatever it may be, right? So just realize that this is a period of time that you can focus and lock in on rebuilding the person that you want to be physically, food wise. Like you can solve this problem and you can stick with this way of eating for the rest of your life. It's a skill set. And then you can teach them. You can do things where you can still participate in activities with these people. You just segment it. For example, when I was younger, like growing up, me and my homies, we all loved basketball. We all had a whole bunch of different interests and all type of stuff, but the one thing we all agreed on that we loved was basketball, whether it was watching it or playing it. So what I decided to do was, okay, well, we're going to categorize how we spend our time. Our time is going to be spent hooping together. We're going to have hoop sessions. Still super productive, right? It's helping me burn calories, right? It's helping me build my endurance, my stamina, all those things. And it's also spending that time with that person that you want to spend time with, or that you don't want to ruin those relationships with. So you can still do all of the above. Just figure out what do you and that person have in common that's also productive. That's also going to help you make progress towards who you're trying to become, and also going to help you maintain that relationship. That's something that's really serious, to you. So these are those type of things you got to keep in mind. It's not like a straightforward, you have to cut out everybody 100% and just like say F everybody. No, it don't got to be like that. It don't got to be like nothing serious like that. But especially in retrospect, you know what I mean? Like in a moment, it felt like I just was like, I ain't talking to nobody, I ain't kidding with nobody. Like I focused on me. I stopped drinking. I stopped doing all that stuff. I stopped, like I said, and this was specifically because I was challenging myself. I was challenging myself to push myself to be the person I need to be. And, like I said, I'm transparent with y'all. I love my margaritas to this day. Although I don't have as many margaritas as I used to. Now it's like wine. Because Brandon conditioned me to like wine now. Never liked wine in my life. But I do now. But during this period of time, I gave up all those things. Everything. Right? Like literally everything. And I focused on becoming the person I want to be. And this was a very, like in retrospect, like I said, I look back at it as one of the best periods of my life because I knew that I made progress towards something that was very challenging to me and something I never thought I would get. Like when I was younger, I never thought I would have a six pack. I wanted one, right? And there was one time where I got like really close in my early 20s, and it was specifically not on purpose. When I was 23 years old, I got my tonsils removed, which is, by the way, as an adult, I don't recommend anybody getting their tonsils removed. It's the worst, literally the worst shit ever. Like, it was horrible. It was horrible. I had to sleep sitting up. I would sleep like this every night. I'm not lying. That's how I had to sleep, because if I lay down, I could choke and probably wouldn't be here, right? Like, I had stitches in the back of my throat. Like, I couldn't eat anything. That little saying, oh, you get to eat all the ice cream you want. Hell no. That's a lie. Whoever told you that is a liar. I tried. I couldn't have popsicles even. I couldn't have nothing. One thing I had was water. So it's like 2 weeks. I lost 14 pounds, 14 and a half. I lost 14 and a half pounds. 14 and a half pounds within 2 weeks. Right. And this was now the crazy thing about it is like this is what should have told me that losing weight is all about your diet, right? Because I like because I wasn't working out, I wasn't doing nothing. I was struggling. I was on drugs. I was on what they had me on? Hydrocodone. I don't even know. I could say it on YouTube. My bad. Uh, they gonna kick me off. I was with all the stuff the rappers rap about, because it was so painful. It was the most painful thing ever. So my point of saying that was, I lost like 14 and a half pounds, and I actually was like almost had at the time like a flat stomach. It was like what I saw, and this is like the first time in my like older life. I was only 23, but like my full time in my older life where I lost some weight and I actually like was like impressed. I had got up in the mirror and I looked and I was, and whatever reason, like there was this one time I looked and I was like, I ain't got no stomach, like, because I've always been chubby. I've always been like, can grab and had man boobs and all that type of stuff, right? And that I was like shocked because I didn't do nothing for it. I didn't earn it, right? Which is part of the problem because I didn't build any habits, which is why things like surgery and things like that, you gotta, it's not that it's bad, right? Because anything that helps you feel better about yourself, I shouldn't say anything, but if it helps you feel better about yourself, get some progress, but you also learn how to make some behavior changes and some habit changes, it can be a start. But this is why I think that we should start by working out, by eating better, by learning about those specifics, because I didn't know nothing. It was just like 14 pounds was given to me, or 14 pounds of weight loss was given to me, right? So the thing that happened was, as soon as I was able to eat, right, as soon as I was able to go back to those wing stops, Buffalo Wild Wings, like I said, I wasn't figuring, I was like 23. I ate it all right back, and that stomach came right back, and I was so upset. I was so upset. This was the leanest I ever was in my adult life, and I was so upset. So, like I said, it's just a part of the process. What was I going with that? Why did I mention the? Why did I mention? I had a point to that. I don't remember. So going back again, you don't have to treat this as serious as I did. Maybe you should. Maybe you're that type of person, because I'm the type that have to be immersed and I have to go all in, right? And that's just who I am as a person with everything. Like with like just everything. Even food now, like if there's a new food that I like, I'm like obsessive. If there's like a new product or whatever, like a vegan product or something that I like that I try, like I can't stop. I'll eat it every day, right? So for better or for worse, that's just my personality. But so this was some of the things I was just going through, and I realized that this is what helped me. It helped me to just focus specifically on this and like take it serious. And also, that's what made the journey so much faster, right? Because I didn't have distractions. I didn't have excuses. I didn't have no reason to not get this done. I didn't have nobody that was there to say, "Hey, come do this. Hey, come do that." Right? I moved, like I said, I moved down here to Dallas. It's like with my dad, my cousin, my auntie. Like those were the people that were around, but they weren't really like distracting me, right? Um, and I was just able to like really focus. I was in the gym every single day. I was like, and like I said, there was more videos and things like that. Um, I don't know if y'all want to keep seeing the videos. Maybe I'll show y'all some of like how I was looking once I really started to cut down. Actually, here go one. Let me show y'all this right quick because I was feeling myself. All right. So here's another lesson. Here's another lesson. I know a lot of you all struggle, especially if you're just getting started. A lot of people struggle with, they call it gym intimidation. So being intimidated by going to a big gym and being around a lot of people, worried about who's looking at you, worried about what they're saying about you, worried about if you're working out and doing things the right way. You're worried about all these different type of things. And I get it, right? I struggle with it too. I just wasn't comfortable with it. And mine was specifically because not so much of like worried about how people look at me as far as how I look, but how weak I was. What was I going? Lifetime Fitness. I was on Lifetime Fitness, and I'll see people benching 3 plates and stuff like that, and I'm over here struggling, trying to learn form and trying to do all that stuff or whatever. Um, the tonsil surgery as well. They definitely lied about ice cream. I don't know who this is. It just says Facebook user, so let me know that y'all from Facebook. So you gotta say your name, so I know who you are. So I struggle with the intimidation thing as well. I struggled with it. I struggled with it so much that I left Lifetime, and I went to this other gym called PhysioFit. Right, it's still there. Actually, when I moved back down to Dallas, when me and Rennie came back down 2 years ago, I got a membership back there again because it was just nostalgic, and that's why I made a lot of my progress at. So we'll talk about that. But I struggled with it, so I left Lifetime and I went to PhysioFit, which is a much smaller gym. It's like a much smaller community, and they had everything that I needed. It was perfect. It was literally like, what's the best way to put it? It was like the next step to me staying consistent and making my next phase of progress was handed to me by me getting access to this gym. Because they had a deadlift platform. They had like the weight, like everything that I wanted was here. And it was like perfect timing. And that's because it was perfect timing, because this is when I actually started doing a program. I learned how to program. I learned how to build training programs. This is after I took those courses, the certifications and things like that. And I learned how to actually program. Before I was just doing what I knew, hit the chest, hit the biceps, right? Hit the back, stuff like that, hit the legs every once in a while. But I was like, okay, if I'm going to actually take this serious, I got to keep learning. I got to keep elevating. I can't just stop here and think I'm good, right? So I started following an actual program, wrote everything out, said specifically what I'm going to do, got some insight, studied, and I started following a specific program, and I stuck to it, and I knocked it out, and I was like dedicated. And it was this gym that allowed me to do that, because I didn't feel comfortable doing it at the bigger gym, because I knew that there was people around. And even if they weren't looking at me, because now I understand, like, people ain't paying you no attention, right? Everybody think that somebody looking at, ain't nobody looking at you. Don't nobody care what you doing. Don't get me wrong, to some extent, some people do, right? They have like those, the gym fails, and some people just creeps or whatever, but that's always going to be. People going to people, right? So that's always going to be a thing. But what you got to realize is that you're there specifically to build yourself up. You're there with a focus. You're there to realize that, okay, well, if I put this effort in and I give it everything that I got every single day, and I work at this, a year from now, ain't nobody going to be laughing. They're going to be looking for a different reason, right? And that's kind of the mindset that you want to develop. And that's kind of the intensity that you want to apply when you're in the gym. That's the focus that you want to have. You want to be focused that you don't even see any other people. And this is something I realized when I got to the gym, when I got to PhysioFit. And maybe it was because I wasn't around as many people, but I was so locked in, right? When I put my headphones in and I bought the gym, these some tips that y'all can have. If you do feel like people looking at you, get you some good pair of headphones, number one. Get some noise cancellation headphones. So when you play your music or your podcast or whatever you're listening to, you can hear nothing. Then two, if you're feeling uncomfortable with how you're looking while you're in the gym, buy some clothes that you like the way that they look. Because that was a big thing. I was wearing clothes that I didn't like how they look. Just the clothes in general, regardless if I was in the gym or not. They just didn't look good. So it made me not feel good. It made me self-conscious, thinking like, oh, what they say about this. I know I don't like it. You don't like it either. Y'all don't like it. You see this? So, so it makes you like think about what other people are thinking about you, which is a unique skill that we have as humans, right? Other animals can't really do that, other than like, primates, like, monkeys and things like that. But the ability to think what other people may be thinking about us, or think and see what other people are doing and mimic what they're doing. They call it mirror neurons. Y'all can check that out later. Anyways, buy some clothes that you feel comfortable in. As they say, when you look good, you feel good. That really applies in the gym, right? Then you'll start going to the gym just to have other people look at what you got on, right? So it'll change that. Number three, a third tip for that, if you're feeling gym intimidation or gym intimidation, whatever you want to call it. The first one was get some good headphones, noise cancellation headphones, get some good clothes that you feel good and comfortable in. The third tip, you don't have to train in front of everybody. Let's say for women, certain gyms, they have a woman only section, right? When I was back in Chicago, like a long time ago, They had sections in the gym where you can go and you can like work out with only other women. Like there was like Blast Fitness. I don't even know if that's still around, but they had the open gym and then they had a back gym specifically for women. If you're a guy, you don't want anybody looking at you, and you're just working out with some dumbbells or something like that. Grab you a pair of dumbbells, take your ass in the corner, right? Depending on what gym you in, like they have different areas where you can like go off into the cut or something like that, or just different rooms and things like that. You don't got to work out in front of everybody if you're not feeling comfortable with it, right? And there's a few others as well, but lastly, change gyms. Go to a gym where you feel more comfortable at, and that's what I did. I went to a gym where I felt more comfortable at, and it was my ideal gym anyways. Like it was much better than like the Lifetime and stuff like that. And like that's when I really like turned up. That's when I really locked in because I was good. I was comfortable. They had everything that I wanted. They had stuff that they didn't have a Lifetime that I had now. Big old tires because I love those tires. I love to flip the tires and things like that. They had everything. Deadlift platform. They had like a long walkway where I could do my farmer carries with the trap bar and the 45s and add them on. And this is where I got really, really strong. And this is when I was really following the program. The program that I created that day or during this period of time is actually the program that I have a lot of our clients following now to this day. Obviously, I improved it. I switched it up. I made it more progressive. But that's the other thing. We're not snowflakes like we think we is. Everybody think that they need some specific type of like strategic program that's made just for me. Now, don't get me wrong. We do have situations where some people do need customized program based off of injuries or mobility, flexibility, things like that, things that happen in life, right? Like one of my newer clients. I don't even know if you want me to say his name, so I ain't gonna say his name, but he has some like mobility situations that he needs more specific programming, right, or certain equipment. But point is, this is where I put the most effort in, and this is where I got very strong because I felt like this was like everything I talked about first was level 1, like peaking interest, being motivated, dedicated, inspired, like seeing some progress through your first initial transformation. Then it was like, boom, level 2. Now it's really time to take it serious. Like follow a specific program. And this is why I always tell everybody that you don't have to keep changing programs every week, every month, every 3 months, every 6 months. I followed the same exact program my first year and a half of training, of working out. And I focused on improving my form. I focused on improving my technique. I focused on my tempo. I focused on progressive overload, essentially, right? Because there's a lot of different ways of progressive overload. It's not just adding weight. It's adding how you perform in a movement. It's adding, like I said, the speed, your tempo, how you're your eccentric, your concentric, your explosive, like adding all those variables, right? And manipulating them. And I literally did the same exact program for like the first year and a half. And then what I did to progress was obviously then I started adding more weight, or I just add a few more movements in, right? Those pull-ups that I was doing, I grabbed a damn, dip belt, and I attached some weight plates on there. And I started doing weighted pull-ups. The dips that I was doing, put the weight plate on there around the dip belt around my belt, my waist or whatever, and I started doing dips, weighted dips, right? I started adding in movements, but I wasn't changing up a whole new program, switching things up, and feeling like I had to do something different every time, because that's not going to give you results. It can if you're just getting started, but the majority of the crazy, flashy workouts that you see everybody doing on Instagram, like they're doing that after their workout. They fooling y'all. They're doing that stuff after their workout. They ain't their workout. Somebody built a whole bunch of muscles, switching up workouts and doing cartwheels and flips and bench pressing motorcycle bikes and couches and all that crazy stuff that y'all see people doing. Like that's not how you build muscle. Muscle don't respond to that stuff for growth, right? You may get a good workout, you may get a nice pump in, but it's not helping you maintain or build anything long term. And you need to build a solid foundation. You need to build, like, the other thing I would say specifically is strength standards, right? Focus on that. Don't focus on changing your movements all the time. Now, again, like some people just need variety, and I get that. Some people, like at this time, I'm less. I'm I'm less strict as I used to be when it comes to like people want to do a whole bunch of random stuff. Like do what like the number one rule that I always say when it comes to working out, um, or eating even is adherence, right? And it's very hard to adhere to something if you don't enjoy it. So I say okay, if you need a little bit of variety or whatever, you want to switch up every once in a while, okay, cool. But find your this is what I did specifically. I found my joy in not trying to switch up my movements all the time, but trying to get stronger, build some strength standards. I thought I was strong when I showed y'all this deadlift I did, the 405, right? And I pulled it, I pulled like 405 for like 1 or 2 reps. And then I looked online and this guy, he was like 405 for 5 reps for 5 sets is the standard. He was like, every grown man should be able to do that. I was like, oh, I thought I was doing something. You telling me that's a standard? You telling me that's what every grown man should supposed to be able to do? And I'm up here celebrating like I'm really doing something because I poured it for 2 reps for 1 set. And then what that did was it elevated my mindset to a whole nother level, right? And now I'm working towards something that I'm actually excited about achieving. Because now I'm like, okay, so this is the standard. This is where I need to get to. I need to be able to deadlift 405 for 5 reps for 5 sets. And then I put the effort in towards to get there, right? And obviously I got there. The most I pulled 405 for in 1 set was 16 reps. And I got the video. Like I said, I document everything. I don't lie about nothing. Yeah, as y'all can see, like everything's documented. My whole journey is documented. That's what kind of separates me from a lot of people. But what that did for me in my mindset was first I took it back. I'm like, what you mean? Everybody. Then I was like, why would he lie though? Like maybe he saw the truth. Maybe I'm just being offended because I can't do it right now. Maybe I should take it on as a challenge, right? Maybe this is that next level that I need to get to. So as opposed to, feeling the type of way about it, take it on as a challenge to see if you do it. On top of that, you're vegan. And if a lot of like men can't do it in general, but you can do it and you're vegan and you outlifting people that eat animal-based products, like think about the level that push you to. Now, think about every little thing that I'm saying, right? Think about all these little things that I'm attaching throughout this whole entire story. None of this happens if I stop within that first 3 months, that first 6 months. I don't learn about none of this stuff if I give up, if I quit, if I say I'll focus on it later, right? None of this stuff happens. I don't get to this phase where I'm able to then pick up and find this video or find this concept. I'm not searching for this information if I stopped last year. You only get to this where you pick up on all these little details and all these next phases and stuff if you continue to keep going and continue to try to make progress and seek new information, seek people that can help level you up, right? You only get to this point if you continue on. And this is why I get so kind of frustrated, if I'm being honest, but also like feel so bad when people will start with, like coaching or just like working out and stuff like that. And then they tell me like they got to stop because, they feeling stressed or something happened or stuff like that. Right. And I get it. Like if you, if it's financial, something happened with your job, whatever, like that's life. But if you're telling me that you're stopping just because you're stressed or now isn't the best time, ain't never going to be no best time. There's never going to be the perfect opportunity, the perfect time to reach your body goals. Because as soon as this phase is over, as soon as you get through this thing, something else is waiting for you on the other side of the door. Something else is going to smack you in the face, right? You may have a moment of best time. You may have a day of a good time, but there's no period that goes where everything is just perfect. Time will always be filled up with something. So we got to make that time. We got to make that opportunity. We got to make time to make the meals that we want, right? To make progress towards our goals. It's never going to be perfect. And we're never going to get to the stage where we can really lock in and learn these different things and get to that next stage of our body physique goals, right? We make progress, but there's, like I said, there's steps to it. You don't get there by just stopping. You don't get there by being stagnant. You don't get there by thinking you know everything. That was the biggest thing for me. I knew that I didn't know nothing. I viewed it all as if I was stupid. And in retrospect, I kind of was too. Everything that was going on. Every time I thought I knew something, even on a month by month basis, I'm like, damn, I was doing that last month. The hell wrong with me? You know, like I was going through these phases where I was just thinking I knew and I knew and I knew, and I was like, okay, I clearly don't know nothing. So if I attack this journey as if I don't know anything, I can learn things because now I'm open to information. Now I'm seeking information. And once I started studying strength books and strength coaches and got strength coaches and all these things like that, and started consuming the information and podcasts and just like people that were talking about the things that I wanted to know, like y'all doing right now. Like once I started seeking that information, it helped me level up so much more because I wasn't stagnant with information. I wasn't trying to just hold on to what I already know. I was open to receiving new things and to going further and further and pushing harder and pushing faster. So I want to show y'all a few of these clips right fast. Continuing on. So like I mentioned, I was learning. This was when Beyond Sausages first came out. Now we got the sausages going. Looking good. And I think it was. That was that summer, 2018. And like I said. And then this is it right here, man. Extra protein peanut butter. 10 grams per serving. Which was actually pretty solid. Now, here's the thing. And again, if I go down, this was the gym. This was Physio Fit.
Count it up, count it up, count it up, count it.
I don't know why the video's showing like that. It's too low. But let's see.
Count it up, count it.
I don't know why it's showing like that. Let me see if I can find something where I wasn't. Okay. Ain't no high routes, bitch. Look at this. Look at this hesitation. Look at this. The hell? Ain't no high routes, bitch. And that was like 385 or something like that, and I was struggling. That's a warm up. It just wouldn't go up. I mean, it went up, but you know. So as opposed to quit. Look how much different I look. All right, let's see if this works. First time that I pulled 525. This was July. Oh no, wait, when was that? May 5th, 28. Gonna pull it? What happened? Or maybe did I pull it? Yeah. I was very cringe back then. Now this is when I started getting lean. Look at that. Look how lean I was getting. You can see my serratus. You can see the side of my abs. You can see my lats. The V at the bottom. I was getting really, really lean. I was getting really lean. All right. And like I said, this was 2018. And the whole thing was like, this is how horrible my food used to look. Plant-based tacos. I didn't know what I was doing. But all I knew was that I knew I wanted to get better, right? I was focused and I was determined to get better. And I think that's what oh, wait, actually here, let me see. There was more drinks. Let's see. Okay. This was like one of the first times I actually felt strong when I poured 4-5 for 10. 2018. And it just kept going. I won't show the whole thing. Yeah, but that was the majority. Let me see. What is this? It's like this was 2018. There's a lot of training footage. I don't think y'all want to look through all this. But y'all get the concept, right? Y'all get the idea. Y'all get where I'm coming from. And I think this was 2019. It's actually me and Raina right there. It's crazy to see where I came from. It's just like ridiculously crazy to me. So that's that, good people. That is that. And those are the main ones that I want to show. Now, going back, I feel like I did a pretty solid job kind of answering those main questions that he was talking about. going over those topics. And let me just make sure that I touched on all those things that he mentioned. The period of time I want to know. Okay, video, those type of things. I think I touched on that. I think I knocked that out. What do y'all think? Do y'all think I did a good job with knocking out that content? Those questions that you were talking about. But just realize that regardless of like where you are currently, like I said, if you're just getting started, you've been working out for 2 years, 5 years, you're a vet, you've been working out for 20 years, maybe you injured yourself, you're trying to get back into the swing of things, maybe you've been working out for forever and you're just at a place of stagnation. Maybe you hit a plateau. Maybe you just need some motivation, right? Maybe you just need to be reminded of who you are essentially. Like, just realize that where you are right now is a product of everything that you've done in the past. It's the product of your habits, who you are. And if you're trying to surpass where you are, it may take a little bit of different information. It may take some new ideas, some new concepts, switching things up a little bit. Like switching up your environment can even help. There's a lot of different things that can help us and give us that spark that we need. Maybe, like I said, it's just motivation. But realizing where you are right now isn't where you have to be, or it isn't where you have to end up at. Just taking the step towards that right direction of what you're trying to accomplish. Just one step towards it. Maybe you're finding it very hard to eat the amount of calories you need to be eating. Do the workout that you know you need to do, because I've been through that a lot, right? After this phase, when I was 2018, 2019, 2020, actually 2019, at the end of 2019, before the pandemic and stuff like that, like, you couldn't pay me to miss a workout. You couldn't pay me to not hit that gym session or to overeat my calories and that type of stuff. Like, it was impossible. It was like, it was who I was. I was to a point where if I did miss a workout, I kind of felt like I was going to lose my gains, I'm being honest. But the pandemic actually, I don't know if I'm supposed to say that on YouTube. That period of time in 2020 actually, it was very difficult for me because I knew I was so addicted to working out, and it was such a challenge because we were in we were in Oak Park, Illinois at the time. We had like a community gym downstairs because of the complex we lived in, and that was shut down. Everything was shut down, so it was like the most challenging phase, right? So what I started doing was I just started doing bodyweight workouts, exercise at home, training at home, doing things that I can do, right? And you may be in that same period. Maybe you can't make it to the gym because of your schedule, right? Now, I usually would think that that's a cop out, but at the same time, like, I get it. You know, things happen in life. So maybe what you can start doing, as opposed to like trying to make it to the gym you can and beat yourself up, like strategically work in ways that you can do what you need to do, at least to make some progress. When you wake up in the morning, ladies, do 25 squats, right? Make it a goal to do 25 squats. Guys, 25 push-ups, 50 push-ups before you leave your bedroom. Something that I was actually, there's so much that I missed and so that I skipped over, but I have these little strategies, and like I said, I write down everything. So these are strategies that I apply to my clients and things like that. Something that I used to do, like y'all see me doing pull-ups there, but there was a period of time where I couldn't do pull-ups. And I wanted to be able to do 12 pull-ups in a row. And in order for me to program it into my life, as opposed to just depending on being able to do it when I go to the gym, I bought the perfect pull-up machine. And I hung it up in a door, a heavy traffic door for me, where I had to walk through all the time. And every time I walked through that door, I had to do however many pull-ups I can do. Whether it was 3, if it was 5, 7, every single time I walk through that door and back out the door, I have to do that. And you don't have to do pull-ups. It can be push-ups or whatever it is that you can program in while you're walking throughout the house to strategically get more exercise in, right? Train a little bit more. So like I said, that can be push-ups. That can be crunches, whatever it is, so that you can at least feel like you're making some progress until you can get to the gym. until you can do so. Like the more that you do that, and I have so many other strategies. Is the way that I work is I'm a lot of the things I don't remember unless something reminds me of it. Like I have lots of different strategies that I go through, but I won't recall the fact that I used to do it unless something comes up where it reminds me of that situation. So, which is why I enjoy talking to the clients and things like that, because they'll tell me about something that they're going through, and I'm like, yeah, I got a solution for that. I used to do this, when that would happen to me. So, hopefully, this gave you all some insight on my journey. If you caught this midway through or at the end, feel free to recap and rewind, because this will be up. This is inside the Facebook groups. This is inside of the YouTube channel. We're on the YouTube channel now. That just gave you all a little bit more insight on my fitness transformation, right? How I went from fat boy, even though I didn't show y'all the actual pictures. I wonder, let me see if I can show y'all some of these pictures right quick. Maybe I'll pull up my Instagram, because Snapchat, what I be calling this app everything. Snapchat, I was primarily just doing videos, which is why I couldn't find any. And I definitely want to put up those videos of how fat I was back then. So let me see if I can find a quick, some of those before and afters that I had. Let me see if I can find some of those. I gotta scroll my IG. Golly. Y'all can go to my IG and scroll too if y'all want to see some of them. But all right, here go one. All right, so this was one of them. This was in Dallas. Let me see. Now, this date right here isn't the time frame that it happened. I just reposted that to give people an example of what veganism is, and I was showing the fact that I was vegan during both of these periods to explain that vegan doesn't mean weight loss. But let me see if I scroll a little bit more. There's some more. There's a few more. And this gym over there with my shirt off, the after picture, that was at PhysioFit. Right. So I was a chubby little, and this wasn't even the worst that I was, honestly. Right. There we go. That's when my six pack was like bulletproof. So y'all get the thing. Y'all get the gist of it, right? This was PhysioFit. And this was these images was from 2018, 2019, I believe. So that's what it was. That's how it was coming. All right. And hopefully that gave y'all some insight. Hopefully that was beneficial to y'all. I'm going to leave it there. Let's see. Brandon, what's happening, bro? Brandon says, this is very inspirational, bro. I really feel like I see a lot of myself in you. That's dope, man. That's really dope. I appreciate you for hopping on and checking it out. That's what it's all about, man, is just grabbing source of inspiration and seeing it wherever we can, finding it whenever we can, because life can be challenging, man, and it's very hard for a lot of people to be motivated. So I always say grab motivation wherever you can, even if it's negatively motivated. That's one of the things that people don't like to talk about. I always talk about how funny enough, I didn't even mention it during this, but that was one of the other things. One of the other things was I used that negative energy that I felt after that breakup in 2016. I put all that energy into I channeled it and put it into me working out, right? Because we all handle situations in different ways. You know, some people drink as their source of outlet. Some people smoke as a source of outlet. Some people fight. Some people cry. Like, we all handle like stress different ways, right? And I basically took all that energy that I felt during that period of time where I was overcoming that and rebuilding myself. I took that energy and I put it towards myself, rebuilding my body, rebuilding my physique, and finding a place that I was very happy with, finding my happy place, so to speak, of focusing on how I can change myself for the betterments. And what that did was allow me to help everybody else, right? Now I have this story that I can share with people, and hopefully, y'all can grab something from it. But I can share with you all to let y'all know how what I went through when I was going through it. And like I said, every day isn't going to be perfect. It's not like every day I was just like, oh, I can't wait to, like it was a struggle too. Like I said, I lost a gym that I invested thousands of thousands, tens of thousands of dollars in, and no physical financial return, on that investment, except for experiences that I also wouldn't give away or give back for nothing. I enjoyed it. So hopefully you all were able to take away some insight and some inspiration from it. It's crazy how relatable your story is, bro. Thank you for sharing everything. I'm not sure exactly who that is, or if that's Brandon again, or who it is. That's somebody from the Facebook page, because they don't have from the Facebook group. Don't got their name there. But yeah, I appreciate it. Thank y'all for hopping on, and thanks for kicking it with me for a couple of hours, or almost 2 hours. It's been fun. Maybe I'll start doing these more, because there's a lot of things that I skipped, so to speak, not on purpose, but like I said, the only reason I was able to go that detailed is because I had all these videos to look back on, and it reminded me of my thoughts and what things I was thinking of. Because if I didn't have these videos in my Snapchat, I wouldn't be able to recall everything that I did as good as I did. So I appreciate y'all kicking it with me tonight. All right. If y'all need some more insights, you need a community to build around, you need to be in touch more, I really recommend y'all join the Built by Plans Pocket Coach. Right now we have a $1 trial. It's $27 per month. You get access to all of our tools, everything that we do. Our custom meal planner where you can design your own meal plan. Did that quit? Okay, still there. You design your own meal plan, or you can have us do it for you. All of our tools, our community. We have our own social media platform now inside of the Built by Plans Pocket Coach. Just check out one of the previous lives that I did on the channel, and you can check that out. But all of our Pocket Coach members, our clients are in there. We're connecting, talking, sharing things, and we meet every single Sunday at 1 p.m. CST, where we're doing meal prep, checking in with each other, making sure that we're doing what we're supposed to be doing, holding each other accountable, gathering information, and that's every Sunday. All right. And all of those lives, the previous Sundays, are inside the Pocket Coach app. So highly recommend that y'all join. Give it a try. Like I said, it's $1 for 7 days, just $27 per month for access to all of our tools, everything that we have, all of our training programs, our nutrition courses, and much more in depth than the things that I shared here. So if y'all found some value from this, you will definitely find some value inside the Pocket Coach. So that's it for the night, my friends. Thank you for tuning in. I will catch y'all next time. How I end this thing. Episode is sponsored by Built by Plant Supplements, the elite plant-based nutrition supplement company. Provides you with support for all of your goals, whether that's building muscle, losing fats, improving your performance in the gym, and getting some great night rest. All right. So if you're tired of people asking you constantly, where do you get your protein? Tell them bbpsubs.com. Come over and grab you some vegan protein powder, chocolate frosty flavor. 110 calories per serving with 22 grams of protein. And if you don't like chocolate, we got a vanilla ice cream as well. Get your pre-workout powder so you can be a beast in the gym, and the creatine to support that muscle growth, all right? And if you really need some great night rest, go ahead and grab you some nightcaps. Good melatonin, gonna help you be knocked out, not waking up in the middle of the night, none of that bad stuff, all right? So bbpsubs.com, use the checkout code BBP10 and save 10% off your whole order. On top of that, free shipping over any order over $75. bbpsubs.com. Let's get back to the episode.